Rangers and Swindon Town. And as we look at the Queen's Park Rangers lineup, we can see just how hard they've been hit with injuries. Kelly, Venables, Bridges and Clive Clark are missing from that lineup. Even so, Queen's Park Rangers started the day at the top of the division with 15 points. Rodney Marsh there playing his 114th league game, during which time he scored 52 league goals. The Swindon Town lineup, exactly the same as that which beat Arsenal in last spring, who will ever forget that, except that Horsfield, who's been signed from Newcastle, has replaced Don Heath, the former Norwich City player. Don Rogers there, perhaps the straightest strong running winger in the game. The crowd, 22,799. A baking hot afternoon at Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers in the hoops. Swindon wearing the dark shirts, which are in fact red. And the Queen's Park Rangers in exactly the same position with 9 matches played as they were in their promotion season 2 seasons ago. 15 points, 1 defeat and first place. Swindon have already moved to a middle of the table position and indeed have shown that we can expect even more from them. Rodney Marsh. Lovely ball to Ian Morgan. And the first corner of the match and the first sprint for the referee, Roger Kirkpatrick. Ian Morgan, just the younger of the two brothers and the one that stayed, of course. Marsh going up for it. An extraordinary posture by Downsborough, completely missing the ball, coming out with a one-arm punch and nowhere near the ball. Here's Downsborough. Doubtless pleased to get it in safekeeping. Nice ball to Rogers. Really didn't want to play it, but he did, and it came off for him. Noble underneath it. Horsfield also up there. Ian Morgan already playing behind the line for Queen's Park Rangers. And there's the idol here at Loftus Road, Rodney Marsh. And that's why. In and out of trouble. This is Wilkes. Leach is up in the box, and Clark. And Morgan! Got a ricochet for a corner. Good effort by Ian Morgan on the turn. He really got hold of that one. Ken there is Marsh. And Roger Smart back, but not a good clearance. A goal kick. Peter Downsborough playing, in fact, his 151st league game for Swindon today. Starred in the League Cup final against Arsenal last season, of course. Smart, given the time, Noble wasn't. One or two slack clearances, though, in this QPR defence. It's good work by Haaland. Positive thinking by Haaland, running onto a return ball from Noble. There's the skipper, Stan Haaland. Marsh coming forward. Slight suspicion of handball. This is Wilkes. 4 men up. Marsh coming out for it. And it's Wilkes again. And a goal by Wilkes. A goal by Alan Wilkes. 14 minutes to the match gone. Queen's Park Rangers a goal up. A goal really made by 2 men, Wilkes and Marsh. And Marsh perhaps the key factor in the final point of it. This is Wilkes. Marsh has now gone away to the left of the picture, but you'll notice that he'll come back into frame in a minute, pulling one defender out with him, and Wilkes moves into the inside right position, takes a well-flighted ball in stride, and beats Downsborough as he comes out. So Rangers, who've averaged 4 goals a game at home, have got off to a good start again. Leach. Morgan to Clark. Sibley. Turned nicely there. Leach, Marsh coming in on it. Clark inside. Wilkes on the far post. Leach up there as well. That's a penalty. Marsh falling down. Brought down by Harlan. Marsh, the player who went down. And this is the fourth time this season that Rangers have been given a penalty with Marsh, the player who's finished up on the deck. He turned in on Harlan there and came down. And the penalty this time to be taken by Clark, previously by Terry Venables, who scored all three times. And now Frank Clark, there he is, to take the penalty. 2-0. Frank Clark, his second goal of the season, and he hit the penalty well. And that's a very good situation for Rangers with 90 minutes of the match gone. Should be Butlers. Rangers have already beaten Hull, Millwall, Blackpool and Huddersfield here. Also Mansfield in the League Cup. Rogers, it's a nasty, awkward one. Spratley. Horsfield can't get there. Butler. Good bit of blocking. By Hunt it was. It was a nasty, awkward ball for the goalkeeper. Two men coming in. But in fact, a free kick given in the situation. Alan Spratley comes from Maidenhead. Played 13 games last season when Kelly was injured. Three men offside there. But Wilkes certainly isn't. Downsborough coming out. Well played by Wilkes. A foul there by Downsborough. No doubt about that. A foul by Downsborough. He left his hand there and got Wilkes in the face. It was outside the box, but a clear foul. Mr. Kirkpatrick has given it. The goalkeeper's not happy about it, but a clear foul by Downsborough. He left, I wouldn't like to say a fist, but certainly a hand there into Wilkes' face. I wouldn't think that Downsborough's got too good a view of this, the way it's sizing up. Oh, he hits! Rodney Marsh, if that had been a little bit lower, I think it would have made it. I doubt very much whether Downsborough saw that. John Smith. Horsfield. Smith extricates himself from the fence, at which point Mr. Kirkpatrick brings to an end the first half with Rangers, Queen's Park Rangers leading by 2 goals to nothing. Swindon definitely suffering from Rangers' greater speed of thought, and indeed their style might be a little bit cramped on a pitch a great deal smaller than they're used to at Swindon. And the 2 goal scorers so far, there's Wilkes who got the first one, and the second one coming from the penalty spot from Frank Clark after Marsh, the player who is left there, had been brought down. And away go Rangers on the second half, needing just 2 goals to equal their complete home total of last season at 20. They stand at 18 at the moment in home matches. Linesman's flag up for offside. Referee letting play go on. Watson. Harland underneath it. John Trollope. Trollope getting some female support from behind me. Wilkes. Under pressure from Trollope. Marsh. One of his little runs might try a chip one. Got 2 men up there in support. Now Leach behind him. Harlan, the man between him and the goal. One too many really, and no, not that time. And absolutely right by Kirkpatrick, the referee. No doubt about it, Marsh definitely fell then. And it looks as though Horsfield's the player who's gone off, number 8. And on the field comes Chris Jones for his fourth game all told. He's had 2 games all the time, number 12. He's been on once as a substitute. That's a pretty hard way to start. Chris Jones used to be with Manchester City. Smart. This is Jones. Chance for him to try one, really, and he did, although the covering there was good. 2 men in front, 3 at the back. And now Rodney Marsh. Ian Morgan is square. This is Morgan. Trollope. That's better for Rogers. He's got the room this time and the pace. Noble going away to his right. This is Jones. Much better from Swindon. And a good effort. Off the crossbar, in fact. Goalkeeper's hand on the crossbar. And that, without doubt, is the best thing we've seen from Swindon. There's Chris Jones who put in the final shot. And Mr. Kirkpatrick brings it to an end. A match in which, to be honest, Rangers got on top too soon for it to be a really good game. Swindon never really found their feet at all. Contest that we'd hoped for from 2 sides who are known for their attacking ability and indeed have shown it at Wembley. But what about that penalty? That's the 4th time this season that Queen's Park Rangers have been given a penalty at Loftus Road when Rodney Marsh has been involved, either brought down or what you will. I asked him about it.
Well, as far as I can remember, the ball came across on the right. I took it inside and tried to take 2 on, and the fella stuck his leg out and he brought me down.
Had you lost the ball?
Well, I thought I had it under control, you know, but that's another thing, you know.
But you were turning into him, weren't you? So, you know, you were bound to meet.
Well, I pulled the ball inside, you know. I'd beaten the first one. I pulled the ball inside and took it past him, you know, and he just stuck out his leg, you know. And I thought it was a definite penalty.
Now, there were 2 other occasions in the second half when you appealed for a penalty. Would either of those have been given, in your opinion?
Quite honestly, I thought the second one wasn't, but the third one I thought was definitely a penalty, yeah. I took the ball along the line, you know, and the fellow desperately tackled me, you know, that was that.
Let me ask you a straight question, Rob. When you go into the box and there isn't much on, is it possible to play for this sort of situation?
Well, it's certainly not at the back of my mind, you know. I play the game naturally, and that's all there is to it. But if a fella does come into me and tackle me a bit, what can I say, recklessly, you know, it's...
Your go?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now, it's happened, this is the 4th time this season. I think people are going to say that this can't be coincidence.
Well, quite honestly, I think the fact of it is I control the ball close. You know, I take the ball up to people and I dribble very closely, you know. I don't push the ball away, you know, I keep it close. And if they go in for the ball and they miss the ball, you know, I think it's always a foul. Well, I must say that Rodney Marsh has got a point there, but he does put defenders in a very difficult position. What's the view of Fred Ford, the manager of Swindon Town?
By that exactly.
Well, I mean, Marsh is good at this sort of thing, you know, and it's very difficult for the referee to define this kind of skill.
How did you see the penalty then?
Yeah, he lost the ball, it wasn't a penalty. It's as simple as that.
But he turned into his man, he always does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does it well. He does it well, in fact, on the 3 occasions that he did this same thing, or this same, I won't call it a skill because otherwise we'll all be practicing it, but on 3 occasions he did this, most referees would give 1 penalty.
And the one that he gave, you wouldn't have given?
No.
Would you have given the other 2?
I wouldn't say. I might be a bit unfair on the referee in this, you know, but and obviously we have to back referees up. But I would say Rodney Marsh is the best player in the league at this sort of practice.
Well, 2 very differing views. My view that the penalty perhaps was a bit harsh. The second one shouldn't have been given. The third one, quite surely, was a penalty if it was inside and it was